And today I'm going to detail how the metabolic enzyme xanthine oxidase, which produces uric acid, also contributes to the peripheral neuropathy so often seen in type 2 diabetes. Diabetic peripheral neuropathy affects primarily the lower extremities, and is characterized by irreversible nerve, structural, and functional changes due to demyelination, or loss of the protective layer around the nerves, the atrophy of the axons that facilitate neuronal communication, and also severely diminished regeneration, all manifesting as chronic pain, the well-known pins and needles tingling sensation, what's specifically called paresthesia, and also the loss of sensation. Diabetic neuropathy is a consequence of chronic hyperglycemia-induced endothelial dysfunction, which results in impaired endoneurial blood flow and also insufficient oxygenation to the brain. The increased production of uric acid is often an accompanying factor to this impaired vasodilation, and the metabolic enzyme that produces this excess uric acid is again xanthine oxidase. Normally, this enzyme functions as the much more beneficial xanthine dehydrogenase, which utilizes the critical coenzyme nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, or NAD, as a cofactor to produce the even more efficient NADH rather than uric acid. However, during insufficient oxygenation of the arteries, something known specifically as hypoxia, xanthine dehydrogenase is converted into its more troublesome form, xanthine oxidase. And unlike xanthine dehydrogenase, xanthine oxidase easily generates oxidative stress to impair vascular relaxation. In diabetes, high blood sugar-induced endothelial dysfunction is chronic, and not limited solely to the blood vessels supplying nerve tissue, but throughout the body. Excess uric acid is a classic telltale sign of diabetic hypoxia, because uric acid is always higher in diabetics versus non-diabetics, and particularly in those with diabetic peripheral neuropathy. Currently, there's no known cure for diabetic peripheral neuropathy, and even with strict blood sugar control, type 2 diabetics still have a relatively high chance of developing diabetic peripheral neuropathy. People with type 2 diabetes have significantly more xanthine oxidase activity and also oxidative stress, and this is one reason why excess uric acid production is directly associated with several diabetic neuropathy risk factors like high blood pressure and higher body mass index. Fortunately, there are some common nutrients that function as powerful xanthine oxidase inhibitors, and these include the flavonoids quercetin and luteolin. Quercetin, for its part, supports the reversion of xanthine oxidase back into the more beneficial xanthine dehydrogenase, and this is coming directly from quercetin's support of NAD production through quercetin's enhancement of the NAD precursor enzyme nicotinamide phosphoribosyl transferase, or NAMPT. And beyond NAD production, quercetin also helps by lowering glucose content in both the bloodstream and liver, neutralizing diabetes-induced oxidative damage, and supporting the regeneration of the pancreatic islets that produce insulin. And luteolin also supports blood glucose levels and insulin sensitivity, while also improving nerve blood flow and the speed of nerve conduction. Finally, the fat and water-soluble antioxidant alpha-lipoic acid, or even its more active form, R-lipoic acid, combats diabetic peripheral neuropathy through its reduction of hyperglycemia-induced oxidative stress and concurrent increase in both nitric oxide production and the resultant increase in vasodilation and also microcirculation. And pertinent to uric acid, alpha-lipoic acid also inhibits the uric acid-induced activity of caspase 3, which is the primary metabolic enzyme behind cell death, while also sharply reducing xanthine oxidase activity. There is, again, no known definitive solution for diabetic peripheral neuropathy, but you can definitely slow it down, and I hope you now understand the role that xanthine oxidase and uric acid play in the progression of peripheral diabetic neuropathy, and how disabling both through regular use of some key nutrients can really help. Thanks for watching. I'm Jason Carter, and I'll see you next time on ENZYMENTAL. Stay healthy.